Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Time for the announcement about Beta 1. So let us know when you can hear us.
Donnie says we hear you.
All right. So look, let's be as honest about this as we are about everything else.
The client crash rate is too damn high.
Which is, in a nutshell, the major reason that we are going to announce a very short delay in beta. Now, what do I mean by a very short delay? We're going to talk about that. But before I do that, a couple things I want to say. First, for those of you who haven't been in our beta testing this weekend, or today, or tomorrow, you're going to get a chance to do that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, over the weekend, next week, every day during the week that we are not officially in Beta 1, you folks, all your Beta 1 guys, Alpha, IT, are going to be in the game. You're going to be able to play it. You're going to be able to kill each other. You're going to be able to see everything that people have been seeing, these last two testing sessions, which has been nothing but fun. Even the crashes that Andrew is, working hard, along with the rest of the team to find, those crashes have not, except in the smallest number, occurred during a fight. I mean, when does it happen?
You wanna leave a scenario? You wanna enter a scenario? You're going in, you're going out. You can't because the client crash rate is too damn high.
And that's it. I mean, like I said in the testing today, we're like the Hotel California right now. You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. Yeah, you leave. Most people have died. That's what we're working on. That is one of the big issues. There are a couple other things. The good news is we've got them all under control. We're pretty sure what they are. We've already made improvements today. More improvements are being tested as we speak. We just put up another build today that hopefully will make a major impact on the crashes. And the thing to keep in mind about this is it's really important, this is a short delay. And not short in the matter of months. We're talking short in the matter of weeks or potentially days. Our goal is this: by Thursday, to tell you just how many days it's going to be. We're going to be testing today. We're going to be testing tomorrow. Some of us are going to not take the day off on July 4th to be here to run the test for you folks. We want you beta folks who've been so patient, your alpha folks who've been so patient, all of you folks who've been so patient, to not lose a single thing by this delay.
I think the key thing here is, in terms of when we are opening the servers, when we are letting people into test, what you will have access to, it is exactly the same as it would be if we were saying, yes, beta is on time. The only difference is that the July 4th build will be officially not a beta. At some point in the future, when the client crash rate is not too damn high, we will take the not A off the build, and then it will be beta. And
exactly.
That's essentially what this is. Like, in terms of features, in terms of the checklist of things, in terms of the performance, in terms of the server stability, in terms of the skills and skill balance, everything is where we want it to be. We just need to get the client crash rate to where we want. There are a few more things that we may take the opportunity to polish, especially like around little UI things of move the window 3 pixels to the left. But yeah, that's the story.
Yeah.
We've already pushed some fixes to New Auto Prep today, but even if those fixes pan out exactly like we want, there's not enough time between now and Wednesday to fully qualify and test those fixes. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I told you folks last week and the week before. The biggest impact of GDPR on us, not only the lost time in general, but the lost time now in testing. And, if you look at our schedule, we said we needed, 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of testing before we would certify a build for Beta 1. We did that for a number of reasons. Among those, you folks deserve it. We could probably get this up and running on July 4th. Very little doubt of that. But it wouldn't be a sham, but it would be just calling Beta 1 so we could say we called Beta 1, because it isn't stable enough for the time you folks waited. And that's the important thing. We want to give you something you can be proud to play. And based on what we've been seeing for the last 2 testing sessions, there's a whole lot of pride going around the game. We have had battles of not 20 people, not 30 people, not 100 people. We've been over 200 people. We've got footage.
We've been over 400 people.
Yeah, overall, yeah.
I mean,
not in a single battle, though, we don't think. Well, we weren't sure because part of the problem is when we did the Saturday test, the way we were tracking players didn't tell us exactly who was in the on the server that
who was actually playing versus who was queued to play.
So
people who had queued to play, and they went to load in, and they crashed on loading in. We're being counted. So
it was weird, but the fact is we had 160 people, 200 people or more in a battle, not on a map, not on a server, on a battle, and in a battle around a keep. So
actually, do we have any footage of that we can show?
We're working on that right now.
Okay.
We're working on that right now for you folks. We made this decision literally, at this point, 30 minutes ago. We wanted to see how much we could get in. This morning we wanted to run the tests. All of you folks who've been on the Beta 1 testing today can attest to that. We just wanted to try different things. We had hoped that maybe there was a quick fix that we could do, and if there was, we'd probably give it a shot for the 4th. There isn't a quick fix. We had to spend today, and it's already 4 o'clock, making fixes, so we just don't have the testing time. It's really that simple. But again, folks, the amazing news here is not only that the game is fun, not only that the servers are stable. So right now we're 2 days of testing. No crashes. No major slowdowns at all on any of the servers. They were just rocking. All that is great news for you folks, because you're going to be coming into a very stable build, to a Beta 1, unlike probably any old school Beta 1 you played. It will, I think, surprise a lot of you. We've had a lot of new people come to the game over the last month, especially just the last few days, as well as a lot of people who haven't been paying attention to us in a while because of the delays. And comment after comment has been, this is great, I can't believe how much this has changed, this is just going to be so much fun. It has been interesting watching it all, as Andrew and I have, and just looking at how the tech is performing and going, it's just going to get better from here.
Yeah, and
thank you, Max. Yeah, thank you, Max. It is
Max
really
says
warm in
hydrate.
here.
I want to thank one of our Maxers for my lovely Java mug.
So, that's it in a nutshell. You guys have heard from us for the last couple months that GDPR really hurt us. This is the final bit of proof. If we had those 2, 3, even a full 1 week back, we might have been able to make it. But the loss of close to 3 weeks from a lot of our key people just killed any chance we had to test this the way we need to test it.
And so towards that, I'll just plug this again. There's an opening for a web backend developer on our website. That was definitely one of the long pulls in our schedule to beta. So if that fits you,
let us know.
Let us know. Secondly, Builders Brigade.
Oh,
yes, a delay in a delay in officially beta means also means more time for Builders Brigade to build things. Please don't stop.
Absolutely.
See any other?
Well, I want to do a shout out. Oh, Mod Squad. Mod Squad as well. Damn. Just damn. Great job, folks. You know, what we are seeing in the game now, so much better than what we had last year. Thank you for your efforts. They are, as always, appreciated. The other thing I want to do, I want to say again, as I did in the Origin PC interview, just how proud I am of the team. Everyone here worked their ass off, you know, to get us as close as we are to Beta 1. You know, people were staying very late. People were coming in on weekends. You know, everyone was making the effort to make up the time that we lost from GDPR. And as I said, you know, last week, I couldn't be more proud of them. We as a team did what we needed to do. We just fell a little short because there's only, unfortunately, so many hours in a day, and as much as we tried to make it up, we just couldn't make up all the time. But again, the delay will not be long. The team has closed out so many bugs, more on the way, that if it wasn't for their efforts, we'd be sitting here going, yeah, this is months of a delay. It won't be. It's going to be weeks. It could be days. We will let you know on Thursday. We want to see where we are at the end of today. We want to see how, you know, Andrew's change that he just checked in, how that affects some of the client crashes.
Yeah, that's, please don't stop playing. You know, absolutely. If you have test access, jump in the tests, run around, kill people, go to the Builder's Island, build things.
No, that's turned off, I think, for now.
Okay, well, we'll turn it back on and get some test coverage on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that is, you know, I have so many tentacles into your computer when you are running the client. I can see everything. I can see every crash. I can see, you know, every call stack. I can see every out of memory. We have great metrics. Even if you don't think that, you know, even if you're just doing the same things, knowing that the same things work and how they perform on, you know, each daily build helps us tremendously. You know, there's a lot of stuff, just the aggregate statistics of people just doing their thing. You know, one of the biggest crashes, we did not fully appreciate and understand it until Saturday when we had so many people in there, and then we got real solid stats that let me drill down into, okay, this is the thing we need to change today. And that helps. That just helps a lot, having more people in there, so that the statistics, you know, we get statistical significance on, well, this one crash happened, but is that happening 0.1% of the time or 10% of the time? And, you know, we need numbers for that.
Exactly. Do we have...
We have a preview. Yeah, just setting it up on this while it's running is going to have to take it off the scene. So whenever you're ready, we just...
Okay, let's do... So what we're going to do, Andrew had asked for us to stream a little bit of what we, or players were seeing during testing on Saturday as well as today. So we're going to stream it now. JB, just 15 seconds.
Okay.
Don't want to give away too much yet.
So we're going to have a black screen for a second.
Black screen, and then you're going to...
You're
Thank
back.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what you just saw was unedited, unretouched, raw footage that JB shot on his machine. JB, what do you got in there?
JB's got a
I
god
got a pretty
machine.
good computer.
What do
'Cause-
you, no, tell him.
Let
We'll,
me look at the
It's
GPU.
a CyberPower PC 8700 GeForce 1080.
okay.
So yeah.
So, what you've got is.
JB has the best computer in the office.
So, okay. So, what you're seeing is footage from that machine, which certainly is a high end machine. But I can tell you, I've got a 1070, and the difference in frame rate between what JB was seeing. Well, watch yourself, Max. You're about to disconnect us.
Never mind.
It's a 1080 on 8700K.
Okay. Is not tremendous. I was running around on my machine, high 90s, low 100 as well during all the battles. So that's what the players are seeing. If you have Beta 1, if you have Alpha, IT, come on in. We need you. We need you over the next 2 days and on the 4th to help us figure out if our fixes are working. And if they are, the beta delay will be small. Plus, it's fun to kill me. I got killed a lot. Like, a lot. But I did manage to kill some people. Without cheating, too. No one cheats.
Well, all Crossfire's particles are in, so we got a big giant, this is MJ kill him special effect over your
that'd
head.
be great. I don't think they need any help killing me. The moment they see my name, it's like, oh, there's Mark. Who cares if there are 30 people around him? Let's kill him. So, yeah, that's it. Let's go to questions. I know you'll have a lot and some comments. Understand, again, we did everything we could to get to this point. And I can promise you, this is not going to be a year delay. It's not going to be a 6-month delay. Nothing, a 3-month delay. Nothing like that. We are literally talking somewhere between days and a couple of weeks based on what we know now. Which is why we need you to come in today and tomorrow to test it more to see if anything else pops up. Please play the game. Okay, let's go.
And keep in mind there's 620 of you, so I will try to get to as many questions as possible.
Oh, and only questions about delay, please. Or comments, even if they are negative. We're sitting here, we're ready for both.
Mark is only taking questions about Rampart.
Strike asks, can you clarify what the difference is between the alpha now with letting Beta 1 players play and calling it Beta 1 and letting Beta 1
Sure.
players play?
The reason we're not calling it Beta 1 is really simple. We told you folks that when we called Beta 1, a couple things had to be true. One, we had to be proud of the build, which means it had to be stable. It had to be something that was worth waiting for. The kind of crashes which are too damn high is not something that this studio can be proud of. We can be proud of everything else. We can be proud of how the game plays when it's not crashing. We can be proud of the effort that everyone made. But we have always been proud of our ability to deliver, whether it's pre-alpha or alpha, a stable build. This is not stable enough. We're not calling it that.
And we know that there are a lot of people who, they backed us at some point over the years, and they said, yeah, I'm just going to tune out. I'm going to come in and check it out when it's beta. And we need to put our best first impression on those people for the very first time they see it.
Exactly.
You only get one chance to make that first impression, and we want to make sure. And when you say this is a beta, you set a level of expectation that we have to deliver on.
Yep.
So, we thank you for your patience, and please enjoy playing not a beta.
Not a beta.
Once it's beta, beta to me means we are, like, if some random person sees it for the first time, they don't go, oh God, that sucks.
Exactly. And the other reason is we've said from the beginning that when we're in beta, certain things will change, whether it's the pledge tiers, whether it's the refund policy, all sorts of things will change. We can't do that now. It's not the time to do it because we're not in that kind of shape. So we can't call beta 1. Now, The reason we're doing everything that we are going to be doing over the next few days or next few weeks is as a thank you. We do appreciate your patience. We do appreciate your support. We say that every week and we mean it. This is one way we show it. We could go all Willy Wonka the next couple weeks and just go, no, we don't want any distractions. We'll get you when we need you, and that's all there is to it. That's what most teams do. We have never been like most teams.
Partly because we have almost no QA besides you.
Well, there is that.
So if you're not playing it, we're not getting test coverage.
Exactly. But the other reason, and that part of that reason is because we do want to always be honest with you folks. And, by calling it beta, we set off certain expectations. Other things have to go in motion. By calling it not beta and thanking you by having the servers open, by taking, the 4th, which should be a day off here in the U.S., we show you our dedication. We're willing to do that because that's the right thing to do in this situation. And for you, folks who have, backed me throughout my career, I have always tried to do the right thing. My studios have always tried to do the right thing. In the case of CSE, Andrew's in my studio also tries to do the right thing, always. The right thing is to give you Beta 1 access, to allow you to play the game more than you would have if we were in Beta 1, and then call Beta 1 when it's ready before the end of the month.
Therod asks, will we still see extended testing over multiple hours on the 4th?
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yes, the main difference is not in when servers will be open or who the servers will be open to. The difference is that when the servers are open, you are officially playing not a beta.
Exactly. And that's what we should call it, not a beta. But the other thing that we want to do is, if things go really well the next few days, is run the servers overnight. We haven't done that before. We've said we wouldn't be doing that. Well, guess what? Maybe we'll be doing it if we see they're stable enough and we're getting good data. Because if anything else could indicate how deadly serious we are about trying to get this to you folks in beta shape, that should be one indication. So, yeah, I cannot stress enough, you folks will be playing in the not a beta more than you'll be playing at the beginning of Beta 1.
Dante AFK asks, how much different will the Beta 1 build be from what we can currently play?
Small amounts of polish and a much lower crash rate.
Exactly. Don't expect us. We're not going to take this time to add features. We're not going to add this, take this time to add a ton of polish. We're going to take this time to get get the client stable again, and to, fix a few things that we've seen during during the alpha testing. It is not a time to add new features. It's not a time to try to get it perfect. It's a time to get the client stable again, as it has been through most of the builds.
Lodeween wants to know when you guys are going to change your names to a giant flashing bullseye.
JB could do that, right? AJ could do that.
Could. Yeah, he probably could.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great when JB was like flying. JB put himself in fly mode, but not in vulnerability mode while he was recording, and so you might have seen like a flying JB through the air, and then a bunch of archers realized they could still target him and just anti-aircraft him down.
Oh, I get killed so often when I film. We do have to add the invisibility potion, cloak, at some point.
A couple of people are asking if the preview plus the delay means that if they'll be able to stream Beta 1 sooner.
Possibly. I haven't really thought about it from that perspective, but when we make the fixes to stability that we need to do, it is certainly possible that we can allow people to stream a little sooner than expected. The key for us for streaming, like Andrew said, and he was absolutely spot on, is that we don't want people to look at this and say, it sucks, and then use the excuse of, oh, but it's only alpha, or oh, it's only beta. No.
I mean, people don't know that. People, I mean, there have been, like, there was this one video that I made where I was just trying to test, like, using an animation to trigger effects at certain points in an animation, and so I had, like, an explosion going off at your feet with every footstep, and then there was this big thread on Reddit about how Camelot Unchained sucks because the footsteps are too loud. I was like, it's an explosion from an effects test that was never, like, committed as part of the actual game, but if you only saw that one video out of context, then
Yep.
I can see why you would think that. And that's why, like, you know, streaming NDA is not just stability and playability. It is hitting a level of polish that we feel like if a random person joins your stream and sees a random section of the game, they're not going to look at that and go, oh my god, look at that.
Exactly. And that's part of actually what could be fun on the 4th is if we could max out the one of the multiple of the scenarios with 300 or more people right around the keep. Certainly we did really well with over 200. We want as many as possible in these scenarios to see just how the engine performs. Because frankly, we've been touting forever how we can handle large-scale battles. And as the people who have seen the Beta 1 release the Beta 1 release candidate, yeah, we can do that. That 200, that 300 person thing, yeah, really wasn't affecting our servers all that much. Like, not at all. It was nice to see that. So, yeah, come on in. It's going to be so much fun.
Zunjin is asking, with the daily testing that you're talking about, how long will the servers be open each day?
7 o'clock, most likely, maybe a little later. What we're hoping is that, again, testing today, testing tomorrow, then testing on the 4th goes well. And if that's the case, we may end up leaving up the server, 24 hours on a Thursday, just to see how it goes before the weekend. Everything depends on the client stability. If we feel we can leave the servers up overnight and people don't have the crash rate that they're having, we'll do it. If we are having that kind of crash rate, we're not going to do it. It's just, we don't want to have somebody on all the time explaining, because after all, even though we put things in notes and in documents that we ask people, beg people to read, we're all gamers, and so we don't always read the documentation. And so I've been spending a lot of time explaining in chat the things that are in the document. We don't want to do that on an overnight test. So we'll see how things go.
A few people have said this. Asa of Diamonds says, again, thank you for the delay rather than a stamp saying beta. I'm updating my donation because of this.
Well, thank you. It's greatly appreciated. But that's not the donation part. We appreciate that. But that's exactly why we're not doing it. We don't want to put a stamp on it just to say we're in beta. Because quite frankly, that's bullshit. I mean, it just is. And one of my favorite lines now, we may be BSC, but we're not full of BS. That's exactly why we're not doing this. We're not going to BS you. We don't want to stamp it. It's not ready. It's that simple.
And all of you, the people who've already backed the game, the ones who took a chance on it when it was really just a couple videos and a design document, you don't actually represent the majority. And there are so many people out there who said, that's neat, I'm going to wait and see. And, for this game to be a success, it needs to be good when they go from wait and see to seeing. And we owe it to you, the people who've backed the game, to make sure the game is a success. You need people to play with. we don't want to scare people off or anything with a game that sucks. So we need to make sure that it's a game that doesn't suck when they see it.
Exactly. I mean,
Simple as that.
Yep. You got to attract all the other people that you veterans are going to be killing on day one, and this is how you do it, by doing it the right way.
Of course, Laudoween is asking, Andrew, did you delay beta just because you don't want to shave yet?
So I got this wonderful set of beard oils from one of our backers who
The truth
goes,
comes out.
yeah, Viking beard oil from Fires of Freya on Etsy, and it smells wonderful. And I don't want to shave until like I've used my whole supply of it. Seriously, even Mark was like, Andrew's beard smells so good. Like seriously, he did.
Yeah, I did. We were
So-
telling the team. Oh, go ahead. I'll tell my bit.
Yeah, so I mean, it's I can't like shave it off and leave that like wonderful beard oil behind.
We were telling the team about the delay, and I'm during the when I'm talking, I'm going, what the heck is that smell? It's a nice smell, and I'm like, that's not a normal smell for the office. And then after we break up, Andrew's telling, who are you talking to?
Tyler.
To Tyler about beard oils and smelling. I'm like, that's where the smell is.
Yeah.
It's in his
Tyler's
beard.
my favorite person to sexually harass. Like, smell my beard. So today's scent is one appropriate for Crunch called Sacrifice.
Oh, good.
My overall favorite is Berserker, though.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good name. I like that. Has any game ever used a Berserker?
I shipped a game with Berserkers, actually. The Myth series. And giant claymores. It was wonderful.
A couple people are asking why we won't know until Thursday why or how long the beta will be delayed.
We literally made the decision 30 minutes before we were streaming. The reason we're doing it now and doing it with no other fanfare is we wanted to make sure our European backers hadn't gone to bed yet. We really wanted to get this in by 4 because given the time difference, we really, again, wanted to make sure that the vast majority of them could at least hear it today and hear it from us and not, hear it the next day from a video. And in terms of why we don't know, Andrew's got fixes in. We've got other things on track. And if those things work, it's going to be a very short delay. So we want to give ourselves 2 days of testing or 3 days of testing to see if it works. So we have today, the rest of the day today. We have all of Tuesday, and then we have Wednesday. That, by then, we will have an incredibly good idea about whether Andrew's fixes and other fixes we have going in are working.
It's the nature of bugs, really, that, a lot of times a bug fix is, that's a 5-minute fix once I find it. I don't know where it is yet. And so, bug fixes involve a fair bit of unknowns. So, I am not 100% sure that we will be able to give a 100% sure estimate on Thursday. Because it could be, hey, we are still looking for this bug, and it might be a 5-minute fix once we find it, but until we find it, it's tough to say how long it will take to find something.
Exactly.
There's a lot of code in there.
Exactly. And the thing is, again, folks, for those of you who have been in our tests up to now, we didn't have these problems a few weeks ago. These are new, and, we're trying to track them down. Timing sucks. I wish we had these problems 3 weeks ago. But we've looked at the logs and went, nope, this is all new stuff. So we're going to try to track it down. Again, we're really, we've got some really good paths to go down. We already improved it today with the first test. We'll see how today's second test goes.
Several people are asking if the delay in beta means that information about the beta will also be delayed, like information about crafting.
No, absolutely not. We can start talking about that after Wednesday. I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, the only reason a lot of that's been delayed is just the people involved in that were too busy working on the beta. So Mark, being not a programmer, is pretty useless for fixing bugs. So, he's going to have time to work on that while,
Yep.
I and the rest of the engineers focus on bugs. So
Yep. Exactly.
that's his job.
Inveigled asks, store was supposed to see some changes around beta. Is there anything changing on that front soon?
That's why, as I said earlier, that's why we're not doing this. Yes, that's the point. The store is supposed to change shortly after beta. We don't deserve the right. We haven't earned the right to do that. When we're in beta, we can. Until then, no, because that would once again be BS, and we're not BS.
Drooged says, so it sounds like there is a delay in which a lot of testing is going to happen of the various beta candidate releases. So basically beta testing of the beta.
I know, isn't that awesome? I mean, and again, that's the point. You folks are going to get more testing in over the next week or 2 weeks than you would have gotten anyway. This is bonus. This is every day during the week we will be testing. We were not going to do that. Go back to the old videos, well, not old, even just a month or so ago, where I was talking about we're going to run weekend tests in the beginning of beta and occasional impromptu tests during the week. We're not doing that. We're not doing the impromptu test thing. We are doing tests every single day of the various clients and servers. So, yeah, more testing, lots more than you would have been getting by a factor of, minimum of an additional 30 hours a week that the servers will be open. So, and that's a minimum.
Cepheid asks, will the delay in beta affect the creation of crafting stalls and merchant AI and land ownership within cities, or anything related to that aspect of the game?
Yeah, nothing at all. The amount of bugs that we have at this point still have to be taken down. These crash bugs will be fixed. None of it has any effect long term at all, or even midterm on crafting and things like that.
Yeah, it's a different set of people because almost all of that runs server side, and the server's in great shape. It's really, client crashes are mostly a fairly select group of, focused people who know how to look at a hex dump. Old school.
A few people are asking, who is working on the crash problem?
I am. George is. Matt's been Matt and Colin have been taking on a few specific things, and Dave's been doing investigation as well. So that is kind of the client engineering brain trust, and I wish I could pull it up in the middle of this stream. Maybe I'll do a stream later on just how our metrics work,
sure.
And all of the data that we get. Like I get call stacks, I get debug symbols, I get all kinds of really useful information. So the way the patcher works right now for beta and alpha and internal testing is the patcher is not just a thing that downloads code. The patcher is actually a debugger. It's secretly like a Visual Studio debugger that connects to the client as it's running and gets all kinds of debugger logs and traces and things and sends them back to us. It doesn't like look at any other processes on your system. Don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. But it has so many tentacles into the client. It has all the same tentacles that like running Visual Studio attached to your machine would have to inspect the client, and we get so much data out of that. So,
and what he said was very important as well. We don't care about other things running on your PC. We have no idea. If we did, we wouldn't be asking you guys for crash dumps, DX digs, about what hardware and all that. We don't care. We just care about why our code didn't work.
Drooged asks, are you still in feature lock during this time that the beta candidate is getting made stable, or are a few safer feature updates going to be allowed in?
Feature lock.
I mean, like, we'll look at it
polish,
on a case by case. I mean, if it's something like, hey, this dialogue, this piece of UI has dark gray text on a black
Sure.
background. Let's make it medium gray. Yeah, that can go in, but nothing that would have any chance of introducing a new bug.
Exactly.
All right. We're only fielding questions on beta 1 and the short delay right now, folks. Getting a lot of gameplay type questions.
Now, just about beta 1, guys. I'll be talking on Friday again, so, plenty of time for those kind of questions.
Let's see. People are jumping. If more people are coming in and asking what was the reason for the delay, of course.
The client crash rate is
It's
too damn high.
That was a good one.
But we have metrics. We know the client crash rate. We know the call stacks that lead to the client crashes. We have fixes already deployed, but there is, for some of them at least, but there is a lead time on, even if these fixes are absolutely perfect, and they probably aren't, then we don't know how long it's going to, it's already too late to have a build that is officially beta on Wednesday. We're past that deadline.
And again, for your new people, we're not talking months. We're hopefully not even talking weeks. Hopefully we're talking, days or weeks in the 2 versus anything that adds up to more than 4.
Shoybird is asking if Beta 1 will be on just one server.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure they understand what we mean by
there's
one server.
one shard is what I assume
Correct.
he means.
Yeah. If you mean shard, you're absolutely correct.
Now we have several staging servers that we move things through. It's just sort of like here's the latest version, and we test it internally, and then we push it live to the next stage in that. And but the official beta server is going to be Wormling. And that's the server, and we have not actually done a full push to that. We keep cycling through Nuada prep right now.
Yep. When you see us do our first push to Wormling, then we're getting closer. We're hoping to do that. We may even do that as soon as tomorrow, depending how the bugs shook out.
Gamer Korak asks, what is the current crash rate? What is the acceptable crash rate for Beta 1? And what crash rate is the goal prior to live?
So crash rate's a tricky thing to do. I would estimate that we are seeing greater than 10% crash rate on entering and leaving a zone or a scenario. And that's way too high. It's stability is really good when you are in a battle fighting, and that's
it's outstanding.
So at least you get to finish what you were doing before you get kicked out. But in terms of what's acceptable, that a lot of that has to do with when and where and why you're crashing. This crash rate on leaving a zone is more tolerable than crash rate in the thick of a battle. So yeah, we can, but overall we were looking at an average of 1 crash per 10 player minutes, and that's just too damn high.
Yeah, I mean, that's we as Andrew points out, it's such a frustrating thing for people to crash during a battle that anything above 0 when you're trying to have fun like that is bad.
There's one really exciting moment when hopefully has been triaged and fixed, where we got 2,000 crashes in the space of 1 minute.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. That was just insane.
Yeah.
That it was just one thing. The server sent a client a thing that the client did not know how to handle, and everyone's client crashed. And damn,
Yep.
It was on a scenario ending.
And that's the thing. At least, and this is the incredibly good news, is that it's not happening during a battle. It doesn't happen once you're in. It doesn't happen based on the VFX going off. It doesn't happen when you die. It happens when you're going into the darn thing or the thing is ending. So, that's at least good or better, but still way too high for us and too high for you all.
And also there are, another factor in that is how many causes. If you can narrow it down to really there's only 3 causes of all the crashes, then those are worth fixing. If you have, on the other hand, if you have 3,000 different things that have an infinitesimally small crash rate, then holding the beta to fix any of those one individual things is not necessarily worthwhile. But if you have a small number of very high profile things in your statistics, then
Great.
Fix those. And that is the situation we're in.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
Necron asks, when Wormling is online for Beta 1, will Nuada still be available for alphas to test new builds and features before getting into Beta 1?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to be doing, again, this, whether, again, days or a couple weeks, it's going to be like a sprint with new versions. We're really going to be pushing them as quickly as we can, to track this stuff down.
Hatchery will still continue to be the place where the eggs are broken.
Yep. So, once step 1 is getting a really good candidate on prep, and then, keep iterating from there.
Patch Notes MH asks, what can we do as guilds or larger groups to organize our people to focus test specifics that will help you all the most?
We'll let you know. I mean, right now, the guys who came in this morning saw the fastest scenarios known to man. We set, usually the first scenario has a kill rate, a victory rate of 100 kills or more. We set it at 10 just so people could literally get in there, fight for a couple minutes, and then kick off the next round, and then kick off the next round, and then end the scenario, and then start again. So we're going to do stuff like that again, because those kind of tests, while they're annoying a little bit, because you really don't get a lot of time to kill people, are the right kind of tests, because it allows us to see that, okay, this is where the problem really lies. Or this morning, when Andrew made the first change to it, that most of those crashes went away, and a different set, he turned his focus to. So, yay.
Borden 001 asks, what are the primary objectives for Beta 1 after the crash bug is fixed? What's the next steps?
For us, putting it up. For you guys, fun. We've said from, since January that we want to make Beta 1 fun. Alpha wasn't a ton of fun. We said it wasn't going to be. We want Beta 1 to be fun. Lots of scenario testing. Lots of different battles.
So I think maybe he's looking for a little bit of like what our internal roadmap on features.
Go ahead.
We're going out with just kill the most people, deathmatch type of scenarios, and alongside of that there is a safe home island for each realm where you can go out and claim a building plot and build some things on it. So the next kind of steps in parallel from there are going to be another scenario type along a more capture the flag, take the keep type of thing in a static keep, and evolving the crafting and economy loop on the safe island some more. Then next steps after that are pulling together all the building damage and destruction and towers falling, and so turning on buildings in the scenarios so that you can knock over actual buildings. And at that point we've got crafting of buildings, and we've got conquering player created buildings. So that's that's kind of the loop of things we're trying to put together, and we've got a lot of these pieces already done. It's mostly about how we glue them together. So that's mini roadmap of where we're going to be going, and each of these things is going to be coming online as new scenario types. That's sort of, here's a new scenario type, that's how we're going to surface these things to players.
5-minute warning, folks. 5-minute warning. Let's see. This scrolled past. I'm not sure who asked it, but there were several people asking whether how much longer they have to get the lifetime subscription.
At least at this point, 30 plus days, because I said we would turn it off about 30 days after we went into beta 1. So that's the window. At that point, it goes away.
All right. This might be a good one to end with.
Finish him.
Oh, good one. That was good.
Gemsy asks, are you happy with the job you've done from the beginning until now? And do you feel trust in the future?
Yes, no, maybe. Actually, maybe, no, yes. So, are we happy overall? Yes. Are we happy about everything we did from beginning to end? No, of course not. We've been very clear that issues that we had in terms of hiring, the mistake with the ability system, we weren't happy with that. We weren't happy with ourselves because we have to do better. On the other hand, yes, we're ecstatic about the future. How can you not be? First, obviously, we got investment in January. Second, here we are in an alpha build of the engine, playing with more people in a battle at a higher frame rate than any other game on the market. In the alpha engine, not even the beta engine. This is still the alpha engine. So, how can you not be excited about that? We ran the tests again on Saturday and today. No server crashes, none. No proxy crashes, none. That's all exciting stuff. We've got a tech stack that, is outstanding, that's been engineered and led by Andrew to do stuff that nobody else is doing. Come in if you already have a beta or an alpha tier, come on in, see it for yourself. The little blip we showed you, that's just a blip. That's nothing compared to what the engine is capable of doing, and not doing in the future, doing now, doing today. Come on in on the 4th. We want to see how far we can push it that day. It could be really interesting, like really, really interesting. So yeah, that's my answer. How about you?
I am a miserable person who is never happy because none of this is ever good enough.
It's true.
That's why I drink.
Anyway, no, we couldn't be happier about where we're at, in terms of when you look at the future. When you've got a great tech stack, which we're, certainly we certainly do. When you've got a great team, which we have. When we've got great investors and we've got amazing backers who've been so patient with us, how can you not feel excited about the future? You folks have proven to us time and time again you're worth the effort. Your absolute support of us, your dedication, your patience has been outstanding. One of the things that happened last week, there was an article on Massively where they said, that people, patience is thinned. And I, immediately fired off a letter to Bree going, hey, look, let me share some numbers with you, just so you have this. And she was like, wow, that's great, thank you. And she put the numbers up there. You guys and gals have been so patient. You are deserving of this effort. You have backed us, not only when, as Andrew says, we had, videos and a design doc, but you've kept being patient. You've kept sending us little things. You've kept, sharing emotions with us. You guys and gals are fantastic. So when you've got that, you kind of have everything. And so, yeah, I couldn't be happier about the future. I just couldn't be. So, yeah, thank you all so very much. And now that's 5 o'clock, and I'm dying to know how the changes to the particle system went. I want to say on behalf of everyone at CSE, my partner Andrew, thank you so very much for your patience. Thank you so much for your donations. Thank you for the time you spent. Please join us if you can in testing over the next few days. We want to make this delay as short as possible, and the best way to do that is get as many of you guys and gals in there to help us test where we're at. So thank you, and I'll see you killing me in the game.
We'll see you later.
See you soon.
Bye, folks.